Welcome back, everybody. Ready to dive into some more fascinating source material?
Always. What are we exploring today?
Well, this time, it's all about dreams.
Mm.
But not just, remembering them.
Right.
It's about really getting to the heart of what they might be trying to tell us.
Oh, interesting. Do we have a specific source?
We do. We're diving deep into 50 dream journal prompts.
Wow, that's quite a lot.
It is. But that's why we're here.
Let's break it all down.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And hopefully help our listeners unlock those hidden messages their dreams might hold.
And maybe even find some real-life aha moments along the way.
That's the goal. So
Yeah.
these prompts, they're not just about jotting down what you saw. It's about going deeper.
Like trying to understand the why behind those strange images.
Exactly. And the cool thing is, these prompts are organized by themes.
Oh, that's smart.
It makes it a bit easier to navigate,
Definitely. A more structured approach. So where do we start?
Well, let's start with something that I think a lot of people can relate to. Recurring dreams,
Oh, those pesky dreams that just keep coming back.
right? Have you ever experienced those, like that classic one of showing up to school in your pajamas?
Oh, gosh, yes. I think everyone's had that one at some point.
But think about the dreams that repeat specifically for you, not those universal ones.
Right. The ones that feel unique to your own experience.
Exactly. Our source suggests that these recurring dreams, even the seemingly silly ones, can be super revealing.
Like they might be tapping into deeper anxieties or issues we haven't quite addressed.
Ooh, that's interesting. So instead of just brushing them off, we should be paying close attention.
Absolutely. And the prompts really encourage that.
Like digging into who those recurring characters are.
What those specific locations symbolize.
Even those weird objects that keep popping up.
And most importantly, how do all those elements make you feel?
So those feelings are almost like the key to unlocking the dream's message.
It's like your inner wisdom trying to communicate with you.
And by paying attention to those recurring themes, we can start to understand what our deeper self is trying to say.
It's powerful stuff.
And speaking of powerful, our source doesn't just focus on themes. It dives into the emotional roller coaster that is our dream world.
Oh, yeah. Sometimes those emotions are so intense they wake you up in a sweat.
Right. So those emotions, whether it's joy, fear, anger, whatever it is, they offer a window into our subconscious.
They can be so amplified, almost symbolic.
So even if the dream itself seems totally random, those feelings are worth paying attention to.
Absolutely. Imagine you wake up from a dream filled with pure peace and tranquility.
Oh, that sounds lovely.
Right. So the prompt might encourage you to think about what elements in that dream contributed to that feeling.
Was it a specific place? A certain color? Maybe even a sound?
By exploring those elements, you might find clues to what brings you a sense of calm in your everyday life.
It's like reverse engineering your own happiness.
Exactly. And you can do the same for other emotions. Let's say you have a dream filled with anxiety.
Ugh, not so fun.
Right. But by unpacking what triggered that anxiety in the dream, you might better understand those anxieties you face when you're awake.
It's almost like our dreams give us this safe space to confront those complex emotions.
Without those filters we put up in real-life interactions.
That's a great point. Okay, but before we go any further, I have to ask about the vivid imagery in dreams.
Oh, yes. Those bizarre, fantastical images that make you wonder where your brain even came up with that stuff.
Right, and our source really wants us to tap into that, to explore that unfiltered creativity.
And to see how those strange images, those unusual landscapes, those weird creatures, how those can be revealing.
The prompts actually ask us to really get detailed about those images.
It's like, what were the dominant colors?
Does those colors influence the mood of the dream?
Was there a particular object that felt super significant?
It's like we're piecing together a puzzle.
Exactly. Those vivid details are the puzzle pieces, and by examining them closely, we can get a clearer picture of what the dream might be trying to tell us.
So it's not just about the plot. It's about those visual nuances.
Like you're analyzing a work of art.
Oh, I like that. And often, those details can be super symbolic.
For instance, a dream filled with bright, vibrant colors might symbolize optimism and energy.
While a dream filled with darker, muted colors can suggest feelings of sadness or uncertainty.
Exactly. It's like our subconscious is speaking to us in this visual language.
Using those images and symbols to communicate these complex ideas.
And that brings us to another interesting aspect of dream journaling that our source dives into. Problem solving.
Wait, so you mean dreams can actually help us solve problems?
Absolutely. It might sound weird, but our subconscious mind is incredibly powerful.
So while we sleep, our brain is still working things out.
Processing information, exploring different possibilities.
And that can lead to those aha moments.
Moments we might not have had if we were just consciously trying to solve the problem.
So it's like our brain is working on the problem in the background, and then those solutions pop up in our dreams.
Exactly. And the prompts in this section encourage us to really engage with that problem-solving potential.
Like, think about a dream where you were facing a challenge or trying to make a tough decision.
How did you approach that problem within the dream?
What resources or strategies did you use?
It's fascinating stuff.
It really is. I'm starting to see how dreams are so much more than just random stories playing out in our heads.
Right.
They're like this direct line to our inner wisdom.
Offering insights into our emotions, our creativity, and even, as we've learned, our problem-solving abilities.
This is mind-blowing.
I know, right? And we've only just scratched the surface.
There's so much more to explore.
We'll definitely need to continue this deep dive.
Absolutely. But for now, let's take a little break and come back to unpack even more of these incredible prompts.
Sounds good to me. Dreams are like this hidden language waiting to be deciphered.
And these prompts are like our Rosetta Stone, helping us translate those messages.
Exactly. It's not just about remembering, it's about understanding and then using those insights to actually improve our lives.
Oh, I like that. And speaking of using those insights, let's talk about those prompts that focus on personal growth.
Ooh, yes. That's where things get really interesting.
So we've touched on this throughout the episode, but how can dreams actually help us grow as people?
Well, think about it. Dreams offer this incredibly safe space to confront our fears, to explore different perspectives, even to envision our future selves.
It's like a dress rehearsal for life, but without any real-world consequences.
Exactly. We can try out different behaviors, face those challenges, and it's all within the safety net of our dream world.
That's so cool, like practicing being the best versions of ourselves.
Precisely. And the prompts really encourage that.
There are prompts about facing those recurring anxieties.
Seeking guidance from wise figures in our dreams.
Even revisiting significant memories from our past.
It's like dreams give us a chance to work through those things we might avoid in our everyday lives.
So it's not just about remembering, it's about reflecting on those dream experiences.
And seeing how they might connect to our current challenges or maybe even our aspirations for the future.
Right. So let's say you have a dream where you completely freeze up while giving a presentation.
Oh, the classic nightmare. But even that dream could be super insightful.
Right. It could be tapping into a real-life fear of public speaking.
And by exploring that fear within the dream, you might gain insights into what triggers that anxiety.
And maybe even figure out ways to overcome it.
That's the goal. So those dream experiences, even the challenging ones, can become valuable lessons.
Lessons we can carry with us into our waking lives.
Absolutely. It's about bridging that gap between our dream world and our waking world.
Allowing those dream experiences to inform our choices.
Our action.
Our overall sense of self.
Exactly. So it's not just about passive observation, it's about active integration.
We're taking those dream insights and weaving them into the fabric of our lives.
Beautiful way to put it. And that's where those 50 prompts come in.
They provide the structure, the guidance,
helping us navigate that sometimes uncharted territory of our dreamscape.
and translate those sometimes cryptic messages into meaningful action.
It's like we're given this map and compass for our dream exploration journey.
Oh, I like that analogy. So who knows what we might discover along the way?
It's exciting.
It really is. But I have to admit, 50 prompts feel like a lot.
I understand. It can seem overwhelming at first.
Where do we even begin?
Well, remember, you don't have to tackle them all at once.
Right.
Choose the prompts that resonate most with you, the ones that spark your curiosity.
The ones that feel most relevant to your own personal journey.
Exactly. And you can always revisit the prompts over time as you learn more about your own dream language.
So it's not about finding the right answers. It's about the process of exploration.
Being curious.
Listening to what our dreams are trying to tell us.
That's the heart of it. Embracing that sense of wonder.
Approaching our dreams with an open mind.
Absolutely.
Okay, I'm ready to dive in.
Yeah.
But before we go any further, can we go back to something you mentioned earlier?
Sure. What is it?
You mentioned emotions and dreams being powerful indicators of our subconscious mind.
Right.
Can you elaborate on that a bit more?
Of course. It's amazing how those emotions we experience in dreams, even when they seem irrational or exaggerated,
They can be so revealing.
they really can. They're often reflections of our deepest fears,
Our hidden desires.
our anxieties, even if we don't consciously realize it,
It's like those raw, unfiltered feelings are bubbling up from our subconscious.
expressing themselves through the language of dreams.
So insightful. So let's say you wake up feeling intensely joyful from a dream.
It could be reflecting a deep longing for more happiness in your waking life.
Or maybe you wake up feeling anxious or fearful.
Could be a sign you're carrying unresolved worries.
Wow. So it's not just about analyzing the symbols and images in our dreams.
Right.
It's about tuning into that emotional landscape, too.
Absolutely. Those emotions are like a compass guiding us towards areas of our lives that need attention.
Ooh, I like that. They're giving us a roadmap for personal growth.
Exactly. Speaking of roadmaps, let's circle back to that idea of dreams as a problem-solving tool.
Okay, I have to admit, I'm still a bit skeptical about that whole concept.
I get it. It can sound a bit strange.
How does it actually work?
Well, our conscious minds, they're often bound by logic, by reason, by past experiences.
But our subconscious, it operates differently.
Much more fluidly, more imaginatively.
Less constrained by those conventional ways of thinking.
And that's why dreams can be such fertile ground for finding creative solutions.
So while we sleep, our subconscious is free to play around with different possibilities.
Make connections that we might not see when we're awake.
Generate those out-of-the-box solutions.
Exactly. It's like our brain is working on the problem behind the scenes.
Even while we sleep. And then those solutions, those insights, they emerge in our dreams.
Often in the form of symbols, metaphors, maybe even unexpected scenarios.
So it's not like our dreams are literally going to hand us the answers.
Right. It's more subtle than that.
But they might offer a new perspective or highlight a connection we hadn't noticed before.
Maybe even spark a creative idea that leads us to a solution.
It's like the dream is giving us a nudge in the right direction
A hint, a clue.
that we can then use to solve the problem in our waking life.
Exactly. And the prompts really help us pay attention to those subtle hints and clues.
So it's about actively engaging with that problem-solving potential.
Rather than just passively observing our dreams.
The more we do that, the more we train our minds to use dreams as a valuable tool.
For creativity, for innovation, for problem solving.
It's like turning our sleep time into productive time.
Haha, I like that.
We're not just resting, we're working on solutions, generating ideas, expanding our creative potential.
It's recognizing that sleep isn't just this passive state of unconsciousness.
It's an active process.
Rejuvenation, restoration.
And as we've learned, creative exploration.
We're not just sleeping, we're incubating ideas.
We're not just dreaming, we're brainstorming.
And those ideas, those solutions, they might be the key to unlocking our next breakthrough.
Overcoming a challenge.
Achieving a long-held goal.
Dreams are like a hidden superpower.
And with the right tools and guidance, we can tap into that superpower.
Transform our lives in amazing ways.
Absolutely.
Speaking of tools and guidance, I'm really curious to see how these specific dream journal prompts can help us on this journey.
That's a great question. Let's dive into some examples.
Okay, let's start with those prompts about recurring themes.
Those are always so fascinating.
Why are those so significant?
Well, recurring dreams, they're often a sign that our subconscious is really trying to get our attention.
Like it's waving a big red flag.
Saying, hey, pay attention to this.
So if we keep having the same dream or variations of it over and over again,
it's probably worth taking a closer look.
Absolutely. And the prompts guide us to analyze those recurring elements.
Who are those people that keep showing up?
What are those common locations? Objects.
And what emotions are triggered by those recurring elements?
It's like we're playing detective, looking for clues, trying to decipher a hidden message.
And sometimes that message might be about unresolved issues from our past.
Fears or anxieties we're still carrying with us.
Even those unfulfilled desires that we're pushing down.
So if I keep having dreams about being chased,
could be a sign you're feeling overwhelmed or threatened in your waking life.
And by exploring that recurring theme, I can start to understand the underlying message.
And maybe even take steps to address that feeling of being overwhelmed.
Exactly. It's like the recurring dream is a wake-up call, urging us to pay attention.
To a specific aspect of ourselves or our lives.
I love that. It's like our subconscious is sending us a telegram.
And the recurring dream is the delivery person knocking on our door.
And those prompts are the instructions for how to open that telegram and read the message.
Perfect analogy. They provide the framework for decoding those recurring themes.
And understanding their significance.
And that understanding can be incredibly empowering.
It can help us break free from negative patterns.
Confront our fears.
Move forward with more clarity and purpose.
Exactly.
Speaking of clarity, I'm curious about those prompts that focus on the vivid imagery in dreams.
Ooh, yes. Those can be so rich with meaning.
How can we use those to gain insights?
Well, vivid imagery, it's like our subconscious is painting us a picture.
using those images and metaphors to convey all these complex emotions and ideas.
It's a visual language.
So it's not just about what we see, but what those images represent.
Exactly. And the prompts encourage us to really analyze those images in detail.
Like, what were the dominant colors?
The overall mood or atmosphere.
Were there any objects or symbols that really stood out?
It's like we're art critics, examining the brush strokes and colors of our dreamscape.
Oh, I love that. So by paying close attention to those visual details.
We can start to uncover those hidden meanings embedded within them.
So if I dream of a bright, colorful landscape.
It could be a sign that you're feeling optimistic and energized.
But if I dream of a dark, gloomy forest.
Might suggest that you're feeling lost, confused, or overwhelmed.
And those interpretations can then guide our actions in our waking life.
Exactly. It's about using those dream images as a compass.
To navigate our waking lives.
Make choices that align with our deepest needs and desires.
Wow. So our dreams are giving us a visual map to our own inner landscape.
And the prompts are the key to reading that map.
Decoding the symbols.
Understanding the terrain.
It's not just about passively observing. It's about actively engaging with those images.
And using them to guide our actions and decisions.
The more we do that, the more we integrate our dream life with our waking life.
And ultimately create a more holistic and fulfilling existence.
I love that. It's amazing how these prompts can transform dream journaling from this passive activity into an active exploration of our inner world.
It really is. It's like we're given this incredible tool to decode those nightly messages.
And use them to make real changes in our lives.
Absolutely.
And speaking of making changes, let's talk more about those prompts that focus on personal growth.
Ooh, yes. Those are some of the most powerful ones.
We've touched on this a bit throughout the episode, but I'd love to hear more.
Of course. So these prompts, they really invite us to use our dreams as this space for introspection and transformation.
So we're not just understanding our dreams, we're using them to actually grow and evolve.
Exactly. They encourage us to confront our fears, to explore different perspectives, even to connect with our future selves.
It's like we're given a chance to practice being the best versions of ourselves.
With the safety net of the dream world.
Right, because there are no real-world consequences.
Precisely. Imagine a dream where you finally stand up to that bully who's been tormenting you.
Even if it's just a dream, that experience could be so empowering.
It could boost your confidence, help you handle similar situations in your waking life.
And there are prompts specifically about facing phobias, receiving guidance from wise figures.
Even revisiting significant memories from our past.
It's like dreams offer this safe haven to work through those things we might avoid in our everyday lives.
Exactly. Dreams allow us to bypass those usual defenses and inhibitions.
Giving us access to parts of ourselves that we might not fully acknowledge when we're awake.
And that's where the real growth can happen.
So it's not just about remembering the dream, it's about reflecting on those experiences.
And seeing how they might connect to our current challenges, or even our hopes for the future.
Right, like maybe you have a dream where you're soaring through the air, feeling completely free and limitless.
That dream could be a reflection of a deep desire for more freedom in your waking life.
And by exploring that desire within the dream, you might gain a clearer understanding of what steps you need to take to create that sense of freedom in your reality.
Exactly. It's like those dreams are offering us glimpses into our true potential.
Those hidden desires that we might not even be consciously aware of.
And the prompts encourage us to pay attention to those glimpses.
To explore those desires and see how we might bring them into our waking lives.
It's powerful stuff.
I'm starting to see how dream journaling can be so much more than just a fun activity.
It's a tool for self-discovery, for personal growth.
But before we wrap up, I have one final question.
Sure. What is it?
Our source material emphasizes that there's no one-size-fits-all interpretation for dreams.
Right. Each dream is a unique reflection of our inner world.
So how do we find those personal meanings within our dreams? How do we know what they're trying to tell us?
That's a great question. And you're right. There are some common dream symbols and themes.
But ultimately, your dream language is unique to you.
The same symbol might have different meanings for different people.
Depending on their experiences, their beliefs, their associations.
Exactly. So it's not about finding the correct interpretation in some dream dictionary.
It's about trusting our own intuition.
Paying attention to what resonates most deeply with us.
Like, imagine you dream of a snake.
For some people, that might evoke fear or danger.
But for others, it might symbolize healing or transformation.
The key is to ask yourself, what does a snake represent to me? What feelings does it evoke?
It's like we're each given our own personalized dream dictionary.
And it's up to us to figure out what those entries mean,
And those prompts, they're like guide words in that dictionary.
pointing us in the right direction, helping us uncover those definitions that resonate most deeply with our own experiences.
They encourage us to pay attention to those details
Explore those personal connections.
and trust those intuitive insights that bubble up.
Exactly. It's all about that personal exploration.
This has been such an incredible deep dive. I feel like I've learned so much about the power of dreams,
Me too.
and I'm so excited to start using these prompts to explore my own dreamscape.
That's fantastic. Remember, every night is a new opportunity for exploration.
So grab your journal, set those intentions, and see what wonders your dreams hold.
Happy dreaming.
And to all our listeners out there, thanks for joining us on this journey into the world of dreams.
We hope you found it as fascinating as we did.
And who knows, maybe your most incredible dream holds the key to your greatest potential.
The only way to find out is to start exploring.
Until next time, keep
Yeah.
dreaming big.
And sweet dreams.